Hello, and welcome to Passion for Patients. I'm Tonya Winders, your host for today's episode, and I am so excited to welcome to the podcast Irantzu Muerza. Irantzu is a well-known member of the GAAP family who is the current president of Asthma and Allergy Spain. And Irantzu is here to speak with us today about her journey in patient advocacy, as well as her journey as a patient living with chronic cough. So welcome, Irantzu. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Tonya. Thank you to GAAP and to you especially because giving the voice to patients. So thank you to you.
Absolutely. So I know you over the last several years to be one of the most passionate patient advocates I've ever come across. And so share with us a little bit about your journey and how that actually came about, that you became a passionate patient advocate.
Yeah. Well, my journey toward becoming a passionate patient advocate began with a life-changing diagnosis. In 2018, I was diagnosed with severe asthma. For 20 years, I was underdiagnosed, um, mm, and consequently, my health was severely affected. And the crucial moment came when I met an exceptional person, my pneumologist.
Yes.
So she became a guide on my path to understanding my illness, and with patience and dedication, she informed, educated, and trained me about severe asthma, a subject of which I had very limited knowledge, because through these explanations, I understood for the first time that the asthma could be life-threatening, a fact that had remained hidden until that moment. I didn't know what was severe asthma. I didn't know and that a person can die by asthma.
Yes.
So, in addition to providing me vital information, she made me see the multiple needs we share as patients.
Yeah.
The lack of support, both emotional and physical, was evident. This disease is very painful for the emotional life, for the emotional health. So we need services that health system in that moment did not offer. So such as emotional support, respiratory physiotherapy, and other much things, a lot of things that our system didn't give us. So this discovery was a opening, and led me to deep this reflection on the situation of many other patients facing similar challenges. And that's when she encouraged me to join on a group of patients with conditions equal to me.
Yeah.
Because at that meeting, ASMABI, the Association of Asthma, the asthma patients of the Basque Country, was born. So that was my first association.
Yeah, I love that. I love your story because it definitely shows how when you get to the right healthcare professional and they give you the support that you need and point you in the right direction as far as your diagnosis and treatment, but also your community, you found that sense of belonging. And I know that as your journey progressed, that it moved beyond just severe asthma into this topic of today, which is chronic cough. So tell me about how your chronic cough kind of started and when you realized that this was more than just your severe asthma, because a lot of times people get that confused. Is it my asthma? Is it true chronic cough?
Because sometimes they think it's an asthma symptom, the chronic cough, and it isn't.
Right.
So from my life experience, I learned that my chronic cough was a symptom beyond asthma.
No.
So initially, when I started with asthma treatments, it was full of hope, but the myths about this disease did not stop. So I found myself coughing non-stop, both day and night, every day. And at first, this puzzled me deeply. Over time, and after having a like this for several years, I realized that asthma was only one part
Mhm.
of what I was
Experience.
experiencing was
Yeah.
there. Yeah. So the chronic cough become a constant companion that I couldn't eliminate,
Mm.
even at times when my asthma seemed to be under control. So I I went coughing and coughing and coughing. It was at that moment I understood that there was something else at stake, something that impacted my quality of life and prevent for me enjoying restful nights.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So, about how long was it from the time you started having those symptoms? You already said several years, but about how long was it from that time till the time you actually got the diagnosis?
Yeah, I get the diagnosis 3 years ago. 3 years
Okay.
ago, after asking help for the doctors, but
Mhm.
all the doctors say me that it's a symptom of asthma, and I say no, not is asthma symptom. It's another thing. So I have to fight
Yeah.
to reach this diagnosis, and it be 3 years ago, more or less. Yeah.
Okay. And so, who actually made that diagnosis for you? Was it your pulmonologist? Was it a different doctor?
Yeah, was my loved pulmonology. I can't say
I know
the
it's a
word.
hard word.
Yeah,
Your lung doctor. Let's just
pulmonology.
say your lung doctor.
Yeah, lung doctor. Yeah. My loved lung doctor, because she saved my life every
Yeah.
time. So I love her because
Yeah.
it's a great lung specialty doctor, and she was at least who diagnosed my chronic cough.
Yeah. Well, and again, I think it goes back to the importance of having a provider that you trust and that you can have, like, keep pushing. When she says, "Oh, well, maybe it's just your severe asthma," and you say, "No, I know my asthma. This is
Yeah,
not my asthma. This is something else," right?
yeah,
So
yeah,
I think that that's a huge testament to you and your like strength and power to say, "I know my body. I know what's going on here." But also to continue to press her to level up, to like raise her education, her awareness
yeah,
of this condition, because it has only been in the last few years that chronic cough has been even better defined, right? As a
yeah,
cough lasting more than 8 weeks that doesn't have this underlying cause like asthma or COPD or something else. And so that's the confusing part of chronic cough
yeah.
is that you
So
can have
confusing.
one of these conditions plus chronic cough, or you can have just chronic cough independent of any
Yeah,
other conditions. So
yeah,
I think the science is really evolving here for sure. But I want to turn to how this has impacted your life because I know a little about your severe asthma journey. And again, that's resulted in hospitalizations and near death experiences.
yeah.
And yet, people would say, but you're not going to die of a cough, right?
Oh,
So, what would you say to someone who says, yeah, but you're not going to die from a cough?
first of all, I will say that you don't know what's chronic cough,
Yes.
because there isn't a visibility, sensibilization of the population about this disease.
Yeah.
They don't care of this because they say you have asthma. Uh, all the people like doctors. No, you are coughing because you have asthma. No. So chronic coughing for me has a profound, devastating impact on my daily life. The cough is constant, it's every day, every time, on the
Mhm.
day, on the night. So that severely disturbs my night rest. I
Yes.
rarely get a good night sleep.
Yeah.
So,
And if you
so
don't sleep, your days are not very
no,
pleasurable
no, I
either.
can, I can.
Yeah.
Sometimes I have to sleep not in the bed,
Yeah.
but in
Sitting
one
up.
chair. In one chair, I have to
Hmm.
sleep like this
Yeah.
because my
Miserable.
cough doesn't stop.
Yeah.
So, and when I wake up, I often find myself coughing and coughing to the point of vomiting.
Oh,
And, and on occasion, I have even vomiting blood.
yeah.
So
Scary.
this situation, it's not only painful and distressing, but it also creates a social stigma that's
Hmm.
that has intensified in the post-COVID
Yes.
area.
Everybody's looking, wondering if you're the one that's spreading COVID, the
Yeah,
next round
yeah,
of
yeah,
COVID. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, it's true. I mean, I think, my grandmother lived with chronic cough for
yeah,
50
yeah. I know, I
years.
know.
And she passed away over 15 years ago. But I often look back and I think if she had been living during COVID, she never would have left her home because
Yeah,
she was so self-conscious of the cough even before it had that relationship or connotation to COVID. So I can only imagine what it is like living with a condition where you cough sometimes dozens, if not hundreds of times per hour
yeah,
in this post COVID era.
yeah.
Super
Because
challenging.
yeah, and disapproving looks at and sneaky comments from the
Yeah.
people become inevitable. And the feeling of shame is overwhelming. I feel
Yes.
like I'm worrying a level of contagious disease, which often causes people to turn away or avoid me. So that's a so hard situation for
Yeah.
mental health too.
Yes. Yes. It definitely has major mental health
Yeah,
implications. And I hear this from every chronic cough patient that I sit down with. It's that withdrawal and isolation. It's that
yeah,
um, self consciousness of not being able to do the things you want to do because you're literally coughing your head off. Well, so tell me a little bit about how now you're managing your cough because I know there's very few actual treatments for chronic cough today. And we've just come past World Chronic Cough Day, but how are you managing your treatment of this condition?
now my treatment is for asthma only because I have a medication, but I only can take it some days. I can't take it all days because I
Yeah.
have a lot of medication, so that yeah, affects my quality of life, my other diseases.
Yes.
So currently, the only medication, the daily medication that I am taking is for the treatment of asthma, but the recommendation I receive are quite limited and mostly focusing in on simple solutions such as sucking on candy or
Yes.
drinking water or something like that. But I don't have a specific treatment to this disease.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what we hear from most people. They don't, they're using home remedies, or they're using kind of off-label things because there's really no approved treatments
Yeah,
for chronic cough, except in a few countries where gefapixant has been approved. But that's really very few patients that have been able to access that at this point.
yeah.
And so, thinking about where we're going in chronic cough, the science is evolving very quickly. We've got several new treatments that are in development and in the pipeline. What does that mean for you as a person living with this, Irantzu?
Oh, it's for me. It's how can I say? Um, I expect that in the future we will have a medication, a treatment which stop coughing. I I hope to sleep one night without coughing. So
Wow.
that's my objective. It's
Yes.
a great change for me because I I I would have a night, a normal night. I would sleep. I would go to the people and and speak with
Oh,
another a lot of people because sometimes I feel insecure. I know I feel
yes.
insecure
Yes.
um, to speak in public. So
Yes.
I expect that this treatment, we need investigation, we need development of new treatments for the chronic cough. But my expectation is to sleep one night
Yes.
without coughing.
To
That's
sleep
my
one
expect.
night. Can you imagine?
One
I
night,
mean,
only
yeah,
one
that's
night.
crazy. Yeah. That is your goal is just to get one good night of sleep that is
Yeah,
uninterrupted by hundreds and hundreds of coughs. I mean, that
yeah,
is incredible in and of itself. Because most of us take that for granted, right? I mean, I definitely think that most people don't realize the importance of sleep, but also how disruptive it can be when you're not getting good sleep because of those coughs. I think that in this space of chronic cough, one of the things that we are advocating for at GAAP is to make sure that there is a diagnosis code for chronic cough as a disease, not just a symptom, because today it's only listed as a symptom. You don't have the ability to label it as a disease. So we're working hard to try to advance that and try to make sure that, in fact, doctors can code this
yeah,
as a symptom. I mean, as a disease, not just a symptom.
yeah,
And then, secondly, we are advocating to ensure doctors, healthcare providers, just like yours,
yeah,
are aware of this condition, that they're not dismissing or like for my grandmother, they told her it was all in her head, right? They told
yeah.
her that she was just like middle-aged, crazy lady who,
Yeah. They
really,
find every explanation for that because
yeah,
they don't want to deep in the chronic cough.
right.
So
Yeah. So
that's
I'm
the
hoping that
problem.
we can do that too, of educating doctors so that they
Yes.
don't sort of dismiss patients, or that they really believe when people say, you don't understand, I'm coughing hundreds of times per day, that they get that they understand this is a real thing.
Yeah, and I think we have to improve the education of the patients for the patient to be activity to be active to reclaim to the
Yeah.
doctor that they are coughing. They have another pathologies, but they are coughing. So they
Yes.
have to insist in this moment because if you don't insist, they say that's a symptom, so that's right. You go home. No,
Yeah.
you have to fight. You have to say them that it's not a symptom, it's another disease. So
Yeah.
it's very
I think that's
important
the
to
key, right? Is continuing to push and saying, I know my body. I am the
Yeah.
expert in my lived experience, and this is not my asthma. This is not my COPD. This is something different. This is a chronic cough that has gone on for weeks and weeks on end that I have to get some answers to, right? That I have to get support for. So,
Yeah.
thank you so much for sharing your journey, for continuing to advocate not only for yourself, but for so many others. You really are such an inspiration to our GAAP family and all the work you're doing in Spain and beyond. And I know you would never do this, but I'm going to brag on you. You just came today from getting an award. So tell us about this award. I want to hear about it.
Now, uh, after this, before this, I want to say I cannot fail to mention you, Tonya, and GAP as a fundamental support for the association all over the world. So you have always been there providing
Thank you.
support and resources. And for
Thank you.
that,
Thank
I
you.
want to thank you, especially to you, Tonya, because you are very special person. You know, I love you so much.
Thank
And
you.
I
Means so
think
much.
we grow more with these organizations.
Thank you,
So,
Irantzu. That means a lot to me personally and to GAP. I mean, because you're right, it is about us working together and driving these changes collectively as an advocacy community. But I'm not going to let you get away with not bragging
yeah.
on this award. Tell me about this award.
En español, yo querría decir a todos los pacientes que no se conformen con el primer diagnóstico, que luchen por sus derechos, que
Mm.
luchen por un diagnóstico correcto y que no se rindan nunca. No hay que rendirse nunca y seguir luchando, luchando hasta que consigamos nuestro objetivo.
Oh, fantastic. Oh, I'm so proud of you. Again, there's a lot of hard work and hours kind of in the shadows that lead to something like this. There everybody sees the spotlight moment. They see when you're on stage or receiving the award or whatever. What they don't see is like the countless hours behind the scenes. And
Yeah.
when I think of advocates who day in day out are doing the work behind the scenes, making sure that they get the best outcomes for themselves individually, but for also the people that they lead and are serving, you come to the forefront, Aransi. So thank you so much for sharing your lived experience with us today. And again, for celebrating World Chronic Cough Day in such record breaking form. It's only the second time we've had World Chronic Cough Day, and
Yeah.
we had just dozens and dozens of posts and activities around chronic cough. And I just can't wait to see how this evolves in the next few years. Together we are driving change in this space for the millions and millions of people that are living with chronic cough. So thank you for being that leader and for fearlessly sharing your patient journey with us here today.
Thank you to you, Tonya.
And to all of you out there watching, we hope that you've enjoyed this edition of the Passion for Patients podcast, and we hope that you'll join us next time. Have a great day.